So for my Unit 7 project, I chose option number 3, which is creating your own application problem, dealing with elevation or depression angles. And the problem I created states that the Bellagio Resort building in Las Vegas is 510 feet in height, and it casts a shadow length of 600 feet. Find the measure of the angle of elevation from the top of the building to where its shadow ends. And then right here, that is the Bellagio Resort building in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then right here is where you would draw the height of the building because it states that it's 510 feet. And then right here you would draw the 600 feet across because that is where the shadow casts. And so there you have your height and where the shadow length is at. And so it's asking to find the angle of elevation from the top of the building, and this is where the top is, to where the shadow ends, which is right here. And so you would need to find out this angle using SOHCAHTOA to begin with. And so SOHCAHTOA, using this, you would figure out what you would have to use, and you would end up using tangent because this is the opposite side. For over here, it's in tangent, you need the opposite side, and then you have the adjacent, which is 600 feet. So you would use tangent to solve for theta, or for the angle of elevation. So to solve using tangent, you would do tangent of theta, and you would do it as SOHCAHTOA go. So opposite 510 would go on top, and then its adjacent 600 feet. So that is how you get it. And then because it wants to find out the angle of elevation, which is theta, you would in your calculator you would type in the inverse of tangent, which looks like that. So you would do inverse of tangent of 510 over 600, and then that would give you an answer of 40.364. But to round that answer, you would end up getting an answer of 40.4 degrees. And so this would be your answer right here, but if needed to find out the whole all of the sides and angles of the triangle or building, but triangle right here because of how it's set up, you would find all the angles within it. So you have, since you figured that out, that this equals 40.4, this has to be 90 degrees because it's a right angle. It's a right triangle, and so it is 90 degrees, and so you would add these two up, and whatever you get from this, so if you added 90, if you added 90 plus 40.4, it would give you 130.4, and so you would subtract 180 from 130.4 because 180 has to be the degrees of like a whole triangle. So then 180 minus 130.4 would give you 49.6, and so 49.6 would be the degrees of this angle right here. And so yeah, you get all your three angles that way. And so since you already have this angle and you want to find the hypotenuse of the triangle, so you would use sine because you know this is your opposite. This would be your opposite for sine, and then your hypotenuse, you don't know it, so that's what you're trying to figure out. So then you would do sine of 40.4 equals your opposite side, which is 510, 510 over x, which is your hypotenuse for sine. And so then to do that, since you have x at the bottom, you would multiply both sides by x. So then that would be times x. And so you would also do it to the same other side. So this would be x sine of that. And so then these x's would cross out. And so when these x's cross out, you get x sine of 40.4 equals 510. And so you would divide both sides to get x alone by sine of 40.4. And so you would divide 510 by sine of 40.4. And so when you plug this into your calculator, you would get 786.89, but that would round up to 786.9, and that would be in feet because this would be the hypotenuse of this whole triangle. And so this would also be your answer, or one of the sides. So then you have found, and so this is originally your answer for finding the angle of elevation from the top of the building to the end of the shadow, right here where it ends. And then if you were to find the rest of this triangle created by this problem, this would be the other angle, and then the hypotenuse of it would be 786.9 feet. And so that is how you would figure out how to solve this problem and figure out the rest of the triangle. And yep.